Good morning all and welcome to our Springbok team announcement. We've got Coach Jacques Nienaber and Sia Kolisi up at top table first. We released the team a little earlier, so by now everybody should have it. And then also I'd just like to declare up front that you would have seen World Rugby announced, sent out a statement a little earlier today. For us, we've got a World Cup final coming up this weekend, and we'd like to keep the questions to that. SA Rugby is working on a statement that they will send out later today, so we'd like the focus to be on the Rugby World Cup final today. Thank you. Please raise your hands for questions.
Morning, Jacques. I heard what Zina just said. I just need to ask you, are you relieved that you can actually concentrate on a game of rugby and not on a circus?
Look, I must say we're fortunate in terms of the support and the legal team and everybody that worked behind the scenes. I mean, we were very shielded from it, to be honest. And where we stay on the Gulf estate over here, we're almost in our own little bubble. So for us, it was business as usual, and we just focused on rugby, and that was taken care of in the background.
Thank you. James McConey here from NZR Plus. Just wondering about the 7-1 split, Jacques. Why have you gone with that, and who will play halfback if anything happens to Faf?
Yeah, I'll probably take my time on it because I think there will be quite a couple of questions regarding the team selection, and that's probably the starting point. The team is not 15 and 8. The team is 23. We always say that we select a squad, and when you do a squad selection, there's a lot of things that influences that, and probably from medical to performances, to past performances, and obviously a lot of analysis going into New Zealand, what their strengths and their weaknesses are, and where we think we can get the edge on them, you know. So obviously, and then the discussion starts between the coaches and the selectors, and then it goes from a 5-3 to a 6-2 to a 7-1, back to a 5-3, 6-2. So it's not a 10-minute discussion. It's hours and hours, you know. And probably the big, if you look at our squad, obviously there will be a couple of questions on it. So Vincent Koch couldn't train on Monday, and we have a policy in our team: if you can't train on Monday, you're not up for selection. So unfortunately, he then missed out with Trevor coming in for him. And then secondly, so everybody, the other guys are all medically fit. And then the second thing you probably look at within your squad is performance. And I think if you look at our squad and the performance, I think there's consistent performances, and there's not a big gap within our squad. If you think now the guys missing out like Andre Esterhuizen and Kainan Moody, the last time how good their performance was against New Zealand. But also then going back, I think Damian Dalenda and Jesse Krulis putting in some proper performances. So I think from a performance point of view, there's not a big gap. Okay, and then probably it will go to the next question will be the risk. So a lot of people say, listen, 5-3 has got there's less risk there. But let's say on a 5-3, if you lose 2 locks, obviously you had to prep one of your loose forwards to stand in as a lock. So I think in all teams, I think even if you go back to your quarterfinal, who played halfback when Aaron Smith went off? So Richie Mo'unga. So as coaches, you always mitigate risk by prepping other people for circumstances that will happen. So in our case, it will be Cheslin, and he's always been a guy. I mean, he played sweeper in sevens, you know, which is the equivalent to scrum off in the 15s code. So he's always been a guy that if we got a yellow card, he would be the standing halfback. And we've prepped him there for not just this week, but for a couple of weeks. So he will be the standing halfback, yeah.
I see your television, New Zealand. What does it mean personally to you to play a World Cup final against the All Blacks?
Oh, we actually spoke about it yesterday. Yeah, it's huge. It's always big playing against the All Blacks, but to play it in a World Cup final when it's number 1 and 2 team in the world playing head to head, yeah, I don't think it's stuff that you can dream about because it doesn't happen often. I don't think it will happen in our lifetime again to have two teams like this. And yeah, we've prepared as hard as we can, and we know what to expect. Obviously, they might have some new things coming, but like I think for a player to be playing in a game like this, I don't think it will ever get any bigger. So we're excited. We're looking forward to it. We know how good they are and how good they've been. You know, they a couple of months ago, they were going through a tough patch, and that's how good of a team they are. That's how proud of they are of their team. They just turned it around quietly behind the scenes. They were doing their work, and now they're here. So I'm looking forward to it. And we've had to find our way too, you know, and the way that the coaches went the last year or so. We've played over maybe 50 players to try and find the best. Even the guys that are not here, I think they will be prepared to come and fill in this day. So I'm looking forward to Saturday. I don't think it will ever get bigger than this. Will probably be the biggest game of my life.
And Jacques, can I just ask a quick one of you? Do you remember the 95 final, and or have you watched it recently?
Yes, I remember it very well. Patches, I was a student, so I was probably a couple of beers strong. No, I was definitely. But I remember running in this after the victory. We were all in the streets in South Africa in Bloemfontein. I was a junior back then. And sorry, your other part? Oh, yes, I have. I have watched it recently, I would say probably a year ago, and the 95 one. And yes, it's amazing how the game has changed. I mean, I think there was, I can't remember, I think there was over 80 kicks in that game, and the scrums, there wasn't, the halfbacks could break off, the loose forwards could break off after the engagement. And the offside lines were at the 8-man's feet. So the amazing thing is how they got their kicks away. I thought, because the loose forwards, after they engaged, they were off. They didn't need to stay bound to the scrum, and then the back line was on the 8-man. So there wasn't 10 meters of space, and they played with a leather ball. And so it was that was quite amazing to see. Yeah. So now I watched it in terms of that, but. And there wasn't any lifting in the line out, so there's a lot of differences back then. The game has really changed a lot, and I think if you go back at that game, I think the ball in play was under 24 minutes. So there wasn't literally no rugby. It was just set piece after set piece after set piece. So yeah, I think the game is far better product now than it was back then. Not taking anything away, because that's just obviously there's a lot of technical stuff that comes into the game, and a lot of money, and it became professional after that.
Hi, Jacques, over here, corner. Morning. What is it about the All Blacks that you see 7-1 as the preferable option against them? I mean, I know it went well at Twickenham, but they were down to 14 men on that occasion. And also, just secondly, with 4 scrum halves in the squad, you've gone with just 1 in the final, which does seem like a luxury. And how did the other 3 take it?
Look, I'm not going to go, obviously I'm not going to say what's their strengths and weaknesses. I think that would be stupid from me, but obviously, like I said, there's been a lot of analysis that's gone into them, and that's hence we went with a squad of 23. I want to move away from the 7-1. It could have been a 6-2, a 5-3, it doesn't matter. You select a team that you think can get a result on the day. So in terms of the 23 that we selected for a reason, and the reason is we believe that they can deliver and win us a World Cup back-to-back. And how did the other guys take it? Not only the scrum offs. I mean, that's probably the strength of our team. If you look at a guy like Marnie, I mean, and Kobus got us through a quarter-final against France. He got us through a semi-final against England, you know. But it's explained to the whole squad why we're going a specific route, and it's not for the individual. Remember, it's for South Africa, and even the selection that we do, we know. Look, there will be pressure on us if we don't deliver a result. It's always going to be like that, but. With that at the back of our head, we know that this selection is for South Africa, and they take it like that. Listen, we believe, and after the explanations of why we did it the way, they know it's for South Africa. It's not for the person or the ego. You can't let that, and not that they have egos, but you can't think of the individual. You must think about South Africa and the Springboks. That's the most important.
A question for both of you, please. I know you want to talk about the final, but Tom Curry and his family have been subjected to online abuse. I just wonder what you make of that, how that makes you feel.
Yeah, it's definitely, especially for me, if it's a player, if it's a coach, if it's a referee, I obviously don't support that, and I obviously feel for him. And I have spoken to him. I sent him a message as soon as I saw that's going on, because it's somebody that I respect, that I've played with against for quite a while. And I've been through it too. When we can take it as players, when it comes to us directly, it's fine. But when it comes to your family, it's totally different. And that's exactly what he said to me, that it's really hard when the family is involved. So yeah, it's the one part of the game that we really don't enjoy. You know, we don't mind being criticized about how we play on the field and everything like that. You know, but when it comes personal, and you know, we've experienced it too. Kobo's family experienced it. They got death threats. You know, so we've been there. And as a rugby family, as much as we compete, we definitely do support each other when things like this. It doesn't matter whether you're opposition or not. So I feel for him and I feel for his family, and I hope, you know, obviously it stops, and I hope he was able to prepare as much as he could for the game that he's playing tomorrow. So yeah, I've let him know that we are supporting him and that we're thinking of him.
I can't say anything better. I fully agree with Sia.
Jacques, we looked at the weather, and you obviously have looked at the weather as well. A lot of rain today, a lot of rain tomorrow, and there's some rain on Saturday. How important is the kicking game going to be on Saturday? And given your team selection, other than Andre, who, not at the polls necessarily, but for your touch kicks, who will be the main kickers in the game?
I think we've got a. First of all, yes. I think there's a. I think probably 60% chance that there will be rain either just before the game or in the game. So it's probably going to be wet like it was. And luckily for us, we had a semi-final where we were exposed to that. And so the kicking game will be important, like it is always in finals or in quarterfinals, semi-finals. Getting territory is important. I won't say it's the most important thing, but it is important. And I think if you look at our team, we've got numerous kickers. I don't actually think there's a guy that can't kick. In the back line. And I suppose there will be a couple of forwards that will put their hand up as well, if you look at them in the warm-ups. But no, I think if I look across our back line, I think there's not a guy that can't kick. If I just think a guy like Jesse put a nice little kick through the other day for Cheslin. So no, I think there's a couple of options there.
Valen?
Morning, Coach. Morning, Sia. For Coach, I just want to know if it's going to work in South Africa's favour, the fact that bar New Zealand, South Africa have faced off with the top 6 in the world during this tournament. New Zealand, on the other hand, just 2 of those top 6 nations. And then just for Sia, this year is the 200th anniversary of isiXhosa being a written language. How you feel as a sportsman singing in Nkosisikelele, Africa?
In terms of, I think in the final, it's about the final. I don't think necessarily the past have got any bearing on what's going to happen on Saturday. Obviously, every quarter-final, semi-final is tough, and you have to get past it for various reasons. That's why they call it test matches. Each test that you play has got specific tests that you have to pass to win the test, if I can put it like that. It's almost like an exam you write. And I think the only thing that's probably going to help is the fact that you stuck through, and the character that you build within the team going through tough matches. And that's probably the one thing we can fall back on, is that we were properly challenged in the games that we've played, And we had to find a way, like we had to find a way in the semi-final when we were 15-6 down with a scrum in our 22. You know, we had to find a way, and fair play to the players. They found a way, you know. And I think back at 2021, we lost our 100th test match against New Zealand. I think we were leading up to the 78th minute, and then Barrett kicked an incredible penalty from the left touchline to seal the game for them. It was a very tight game there. We lost against England at Twickenham in the 81st minute. We lost against Australia in Australia in the 82nd minute. So there's been a couple of games that we were leading when the clock was within 2 minutes or over 80 minutes time, and we lost those games. So I think the learnings we took out of those games helped us in the quarterfinals, semi-finals, and in the last couple of games.
Yeah, that's really special, and it's great for me, and obviously abantu abaninzi abathetha isiXhosa because siyaziqenya nge-language yethu, and to also like to hear it in the national anthem. I think it's amazing. I love our national anthem, you know, with different languages in it. We are a very diverse country, and we really do, I think most of the time, celebrate our diversity, as we do in this team as well. And I think the fact that, you know, I can come from the township and play rugby and also be able to sing the songs I used to sing in the township, that I take, where I don't forget where I come from. I'm able to express myself as a team. I think that's really amazing, you know, and it does a lot to us to also hear the Xhosa commentary when somebody, you know, a lot of people can't watch rugby because they can't afford, like, and then also they don't understand English. Now we can hear it in your own language. Sometimes in the radio, the people listen to the game. I think that's really beautiful because it's brought more people. It's invited another different kind of people to come and watch rugby and support. So I'm really proud that, you know, my language has been recognized, and yeah, we take full pride in that.
Morning, guys. Morning. Question for you, Jacques. On a number of occasions this year, you've told us about how the game, Springboks game, has evolved with Mani at fly-off. With him not in the squad for this game, do you think that can be interpreted as a betrayal of those things that you've advanced in your game?
No, not necessarily. I think we still, obviously Andre was injured. That was the big reason why Mani had to step up, and fair play to him. He is a brilliant rugby player. But unfortunately, if we would have gone with a 5-3 split, he would have played. But unfortunately, like I said, for him and for Kobus, they are unlucky because of the tactics that we think we want to employ. So yeah, no, not at all. I must say, I don't think World Cups might be, probably now that I'm saying it will be different, but World Cup finals isn't necessarily always the most spectacle of affairs. So if you look at the past games, it's always going to be tight, and I think this one is going to be tight, and it's going to be a grind. Yep.
For the positions, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 5. Also things happen. I get taken off on the 40th of life. Of course, I would love to play more, but I know that at that time I can't give anymore, or the coaches can see I'm not so productive anymore. So decisions get made. It's not about me. I can be disappointed for a little bit, but I know the bigger thing is that if we win, at the end of the day, like the work that Kwagga and Dion Fourie does when they come on, they honestly, the bench came on and won us a game. Our job is to grind out, and those decisions get made, and you think, am I going to sulk for me, or am I going to think of the bigger prize? At the end of the day, when we win, South Africa wins. It doesn't say this guy started, or this guy kicked the winning penalty. When they write the name on the trophy, they say South Africa. Andre covers 12. He can play 12. So there's a lot of things that we have to get into consideration. If something happens to Dukes, Andre can shift in, and those decisions get made because Damon Willemse can cover 10 and 12 and 15. So and Trezen can play scrum half, fullback and wing. So when they pick the team, they don't just announce it. they explain to us all those situations. We have made peace with them. It is difficult. I felt it. I've been here before where I've been part of the World Cup and I don't get picked. All I have to do is hold bags. And I think for a guy like Mani, he really wants to play. He was disappointed, but he became Richie Mohanga for the team and gave us the best pictures we could get, because he knows at the end of the day that if he gives the best, and that's the role that he's asked to play for this specific game, as Andre had to do, as Marvin, Ori, who's been amazing for us. Everybody has a role to play, and that's just the role that he's chosen to play. And we'll give it everything, and we're not going to die wondering. It's a World Cup final. And if we do and become successful after the game, he will know that all the input that is put in, whether he was on or not or off the field, it made a difference to make us be successful as we can. So we don't take it too much to ourselves. We don't think too much. Yes, you sulk, you go home, you talk to your wife and your girlfriend, you get over it and you move on, because you know maybe tomorrow you'll be the one starting. And yeah, that's just how we see it as a team, because it's far bigger than us.
Good morning, Jacques. Good morning, sir. Question for each of you guys. Jacques, we had a chat about this at the start of the Scotland game. You are finally in your last week as a Springbok coach. Just talk us through how you've processed this particular week, and that this is probably the last team announcement press conference in these colours that you're attending in the meantime. And for you, see, I mean, the All Black game in the Eastern Cape holds so much significance. Just building on Valen's question, what does it mean for you being from the Eastern Cape, playing against All Blacks when, especially from 1995 onwards, every other test match is rated highly, but the All Black test, the All Black Springbok test from our part of the world is the one that really matters?
Yeah, in terms of in terms of how did I approach this weekend from being the last one, maybe. Yeah, you know what? It's funny. I went for a run this morning, and I was thinking about it. You know, in 2011, when I was in New Zealand with the Springboks in the World Cup, I thought I'll probably going to continue. And then Heineke went another route with John McFarlane, and they were very successful together. So, and then I thought, oh, okay, I had 7 games with the Springboks, and it was unbelievable. And then 2016, I got another opportunity with the Boks, but then I already signed with Munster, and so I only had 3 test matches with the Boks, and I thought when I left for Munster, okay, listen, that's it. I had 10 unbelievable test matches with the Springboks, and then we came back to 2018. The point there is, you actually don't know the future. And that's how I see it. I'm not emotional, because I don't know if this is my last test match for the Boks or not. Because you can plan life as much as you want, but life has got its own way, and destiny has got its own way. So for me, I just focused on, I think, how you should approach the game. This is every day, any day can be your last day with a team. I just enjoyed every single minute of it, and just stay in the now, in the moment, and just enjoyed the players, because I think this group, like Sia said, this will probably never, no, not probably, this will never happen in our lifetime again. So rather thinking of maybe this might be the end, or it is the end or not, just stay in the moment and just enjoy it for what it is. It's probably the biggest occasion that we will ever be part of, and probably the biggest rugby game that there's ever been. 1 and 2 playing each other in a World Cup final. And whoever wins is going to be the first team to win, or country to win 4 World Cups. So it's massive. It's all to gain. So that was my approach. I just stayed in the moment, because I have been twice. I've been in positions where I thought this is the end. As I will never be here again. And look where we are now. Yeah. So that's how I approached it.
Yeah. Playing the All Blacks, I said earlier, it's always special. It's always a huge occasion. I mean, they've been one of the most successful teams in the world, and I think the game, obviously from '95, I think it's so special. I think I was 4 then. I didn't get to watch the game, but obviously seeing videos of it, and also the significance of the game is huge. I think it opened a lot of doors for me and many others, and I think it was an important game, not just for the Eastern Cape, I think for South Africa in general. It was a huge game, and that's why it's highly spoken about even this day. So it's going to be big regardless of what the previous game showed. This it can't get bigger than this, And it will mean to South Africa a lot, as we've seen what's happening back at home. I'm sure you've seen all the videos that are coming through in the semi-finals, and it's just huge. I can't explain. I remember 2007 when I was standing in Sweden. I was talking to Eben on the field. I said the last time the Springboks played in a final in France, I was standing in a tavern in Sweden watching with people who don't know rugby. It's only because South Africa is playing that people just sat there and watched the game, and I never thought I would be here playing a final at the same place that I was watching John Smith lift the World Cup. So, yeah, this is the stuff that you don't dream about. Honestly, I would be lying if I said this was one of my dreams, to play in the World Cup final in France against the All Blacks.
Hi, Sia. I mean, you sort of touched on it slightly here, and Jacques mentioned being the first team to win 4 World Cups. Can you contrast what the motivations are for this group of players, maybe compared to 4 years ago, when you spoke very well about sort of inspiring the nation and playing for a higher purpose? Are they different? Are they the same?
Yeah, I think 4 years ago, I think nobody probably would have expected us to be even in that position, because I think 2 years before we had just been given 50 points, you know, against the All Blacks, and a lot of people kind of didn't give us a chance. And you know, we were driving, we were trying to get the respect back of the Springbok team, of the name, and we were fighting because I think we were 5th or 6th in the world that time, and it was basically rugby focus until we go to the final, and when Coach Rassie spoke to us just before the final at the stadium, because he had seen what was happening back at home. We were in the country, we was in the middle of one of the biggest gender-based violence marches. There was xenophobia happening. There was a lot of bad happening in the country that time. And when he saw that, and he saw Mampimpi play with one of the ladies that got killed at the post office, you know, and he realized that it's far. It actually means so much more to. We all play for different reasons as players. We've got different motivation. It's your family. It's someone that you've lost that you want to make proud. But the thing that brought us together was South Africa, and he looked at that and he saw, and that we started playing for so much more than, because we knew what we do on Saturday can control a mood of 62 million people plus. And then now, you know, we were able to achieve it then, and then now we see it each and every single day, and people tell us how they feel, and people send videos and tell us this is sometimes the only time they are happy about something is when we play. And also, for us, it's for someone that is in my position right now, where I was when I was a kid, for them to know, yes, that it's a season that they're going through. It's a tough time, but it is possible for them to get out of it. It's kids they'll come from farm areas that never thought it's possible, but now they see Peter Steph, you know, and it's guys that they see their life this way, that they want to go to this union. And a guy like Faf, he had to go to multiple unions. Cheslin had to leave South Africa to become a Springbok. So we represent all those kind of people, and that's what we focus on as a team, and that's our drive, and that's who we look to. You know, that's when you play or when you don't get selected, that you know it's for something far bigger than yourself.
We'll take a last question on this top table, and then we'll bring in the players.
Yeah. Good morning, Sia. Good morning, Jacques.
Morning.
This one is for you, Jacques. You've been part of the EPD program before your time at the Springboks. And Rassie often says how important it was to him to be involved there. Can you just sum up what it was and how important it was for transformation? And is this Springboks team already capitalizing on it?
Yeah, so for those who don't know, EPD programs is an early player development program. So before I joined the Springboks, I was the high performance manager at SA Rugby, and the EPD programs. Rassie was what was his title then? He was general manager of rugby, and I was the high performance manager underneath him. And so yeah, the guys that, how can I put it, Damian Willemse was an EPD2 program when I started coaching him at SA schools, R.G. Snyman, Mani Libok, J.C. Creel, Andre Pollard, Malcolm Marks, Thomas Etoy, they all guys that I've worked with since they were 17 in the EPD program. That's what probably makes it so special, you know. Even Sia I met when he was at the Institute. He was under 19 at Western Province. Frans Malherbe, same. So a lot of the players that's currently in this group, and that's why I enjoyed the time with them. I just sat in the change room and we had a cool drink in the change room after one of the training sessions, just looking at the players, and I think, yes, I have a story of every single one. Oxniche, Villagers Rugby Club, first scrumming session, Michael Kumberai was there, and I remember, who's this guy from RTS Louis Botha? I can actually speak a little bit of Afrikaans, you know. If you think where he's from, I've got a story about every single one because of EPD, because when they were nothing, and when they were just dreaming to become Springboks, you start working with them, and you know what? Fair play to them, they haven't changed. They don't have egos now. Like Mani Libok, somebody asked about a guy like Mani, like Kobus. Okay, obviously he's a little bit older than them. But the same Mani that was 17 years old playing for the SA school side with Damian Willemse, they're the same people now. They haven't become big-headed. They don't have an ego. If they're not selected, like Sia said, they take it on the chin. They know that it's for South Africa, just like they did it back then. So, yeah, it was special working in the EPD programs, and even with the women. Obviously, I coached the 7s in women's and the 15s, and so I had an unbelievable coaching pathway with that, teaching kids, or not kids, but school kids, developing them, see how they grow as persons, how they become fathers, how they become men. You know, it's unbelievable to be part of it, and that started way back in 2013, I think. So it's 10 years now. Yeah.
Can I just ask one question of Sia? Just you've played the All Blacks a lot, and I just wanted to know what impresses you about this All Blacks team, and in particular your opposing captain Sam Cane.
I think the fight that they've showed. I think I know how hard New Zealand people and media can be towards them, because they expect so much from an All Blacks team, and I think they faced a lot of criticism, and I don't think a lot of people thought they would be playing in the World Cup final. The fight that they showed this year, I think it tells a lot about the team. You know, they could have just given up, you know, and just said, you know what, it's not our year. And they just took it and they kept on moving, and they were quiet about how they went this World Cup, to be honest. Not a lot of people were talking about them, but they were just moving, and now they're in the World Cup final. And Sam Cane, I think, you know, I know what an amazing player he is and what a good leader he is. And I think for me, for somebody that thought will never play a rugby game again, for him to fight through what he fight through. I was playing that game, and I remember Coach Rassie, went to go see him in hospital, and I remember speaking to him during then, and he had a lot of criticism too about how he's not playing well and everything. He found himself, and he's worked, and he just put his head down, and he led a Chiefs team who did amazingly well, and now he's here. And I think that when you can, you know, people always focus on what you do in the field. Some of the battles that you face off the field can take you to the next level, and I think I speak highly of him. I've known him for quite a long time. I respect him a lot, and I think what he's shown, the fight that he's shown off the field, and the way he's taken it on the field as well, now he's led the team, has really been amazing. With all the other leaders, obviously, around him, I think he's done amazingly well, and that's why they are where they are today. The character they have as a group, and it's not. I don't think it's easy. I know it's hard for us to play for South Africa because people expect, but for them to play for a country who's been successful for so many years, it takes a lot out of you, and it does get lonely, it does get dark. You do sit there and you think, am I capable of doing this? Can I do this? But when you have good men around you like I do, guys like Dwayne, Eben, Andre, who support me all the time, and you can see they just stuck together and fought to it, and that's why it makes them such a special team, and that's why they're playing in the World Cup final on Saturday.
Thank you, Jacques. Thank you, Sia. We'll bring in the players now. Please, guys, note that there's about 25 minutes for 4 players, so just making you aware of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning. Alles afzet.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so we've got Jesse Creel, Faf de Klerk, Damian Willemse, and Steven Kitsoff. Please raise your hands for questions, and then we can get going with this section of the news conference.
Good morning, gentlemen. Stephen, let's start with you. Your career shaped by New Zealand rugby. I mean, your first big final was in 2012 in the Junior World Cup, where you guys won at Newlands. You're back here again. Just talk us through this particular 9-year period. Or 11 years, if I may say. My math is a bit off.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. So yes, you're taking me back now to very long ago. But so under 20s, Junior World Cup final in Cape Town at Newlands. So yeah, we were fortunate enough to get the victory there on home soil. But I think this is a different beast. I mean, we all know how good the All Blacks are and how well they've been playing throughout the World Cup and the victories they've had. So I think going through all the years, and I mean, starting my international career in 2016, struggled to get a victory over the All Blacks until 2018, and then from there was very 50-50. So yeah, I think this weekend's going to be an exciting one. It's going to be a different one. It's going to be a massive game, historical game. So yeah, really looking forward to it, and I think the pressure is going to be immense, but I think the atmosphere and the game itself is going to be incredible.
Stephen, can I ask you about R.G. Snyman? Sorry, I know I've not pronounced his name the way you guys do, but I think everyone's aware of the journey he's had to go through to get from one World Cup to another and everything he's fought through. Can you tell us what he brings to you guys as a team and how much you guys respect what he's gone through to get here?
Yeah, I think RG's, he's been very unfortunate with the injuries and the ACLs he's had. I think it was 2 ops in 4 years. So for him, he's an incredible team man, and the way he helps Franco and with the lineouts, and he helps Coach Dion with making good decisions in the lineouts and developing a plan for every weekend. It's exceptional, and then just the energy he brings off the bench. So we all remember like the bomb squad and the energy we had in 2019. I think he's taken that same role this year, especially in the World Cup. And I mean, he's been playing great rugby. He's been carrying the ball well. He's done extremely well at lineouts, and he's bringing a next level of physicality. I mean, he's a giant among men. So extremely proud and so fortunate for him to have him in our team, and he's been playing great rugby, and I'm extremely proud of him.
Hey, JC, this one is for you. I read a stat that the last game against England in the semi-final, you didn't have the ball a single time in hands. So I don't know if it's true, but That's what I read. And how is it to spend the whole game without touching the ball? And what does it mean about your defending duties as well? Do you enjoy defending as much as holding the ball?
I obviously don't enjoy not getting the ball. I think all of us as players want to touch the ball at least when we're playing. But I mean, different games require different things. And I think on the weekend we didn't get as much possession, I suppose, as we'd like. Obviously, England played a different game plan. But yeah, I think we did what we needed to do to get the result. And in the end of the day, that's all that matters. So yeah, we were happy with the result.
Question for Faf. Obviously, any World Cup title is special. Down the back in the cheap seats. Any World Cup title is special, including the last one. But what does it mean to you to play the All Blacks in a World Cup final?
Yeah, morning guys. Yeah, I think it means a lot. And like you said, it always remains special. It doesn't matter who you play. I just think because of the history that we have with them, going back to 1995 and getting to play them in a final again, it's just I think it brings back a lot of memories for a lot of people back home. A lot of us were, except maybe Dwayne and Dion, were a bit too young to watch that game, but I think that's where the rivalry actually really started in mainstream. And yeah, I think just looking at the players that they have on their side and this guys that we've been looking up to since we were at school, guys playing their final games now for them and for us. There's just a lot that's special about this game, and we're both going for the same thing, which is going to make it so much more of an exciting and tough match. But yeah, I think I overheard Sia earlier to say you dreamt about this is a bit is probably wrong, because I don't think you do dream that far. But we're here now, and I'm feeling extremely privileged and blessed to sit in this position, and yeah, going to give everything that I can. And if it's my last game, I want to make it remembered for me as giving everything and putting everything on the line.
Have any of those 95 guys been in touch with this current team? Someone like Francois or anyone else?
Yeah, I think just through a few messages to the guys. There were a few of the guys at training sessions and just feeling the support from them. So yeah, I think even if they haven't, we know we have their support. But I think there are a few guys that's got a few messages, and we do draw a lot from that, and we know how proud they made the country and how proud they are now of us. And we need to continue that, and hopefully we can add another W to the records and hopefully take that cup back home.
Faf, I was just wondering, without the bench means there's no sort of specialist scrum half there, means you'll likely go 80. Just wondering if that changes your approach or if it changes the way you look at the game at all?
No, not really. We've played like this before, and I've played a lot of 80 minutes in my life, and that doesn't really change things. I think if you're going to pace yourself to make sure you fit at the end of 80, you're probably going to lose this game. So we're going to have to go from the start and give it our all. And luckily we've got Kwagga covering 9 as well, and he doesn't get tired, so that's fine. And yeah, Chesley's also been training there, so we've got backup. So that doesn't really bother me at all. Yeah, I'm going to try and give it my all from the very start, and yeah, hopefully I can be there at the end when we win. But yeah, it doesn't really change anything that I do. Just have to make sure I'm recovered well for the game.
Faf, you've played the All Blacks a lot. Can you tell us about what impresses you about this team, and also your opposite number, Aaron Smith?
I think the way they've turned it around this year, especially after playing us and the French, it shows a team that really is close together as a side, and the belief they have. I think they've obviously been under a bit of scrutiny over the past those 2 games, and I think the way they've turned around, I think we all could see they're playing unbelievable rugby, playing with a lot more confidence, and you can see they're doing it for each other. So yeah, it's good to see a side like that can almost internally sort things out and don't have to look outside of the group, because they've got such great players and leaders all around the group. And I think Aaron Smith is one of the biggest guys for that. I think is the gel for that team, not just on the field with the way he chats and plays, but off the field, sharing his experiences, and obviously also sometimes going through tough times and getting through that and sharing that experience that he has with what he's been through in his career. And yeah, played him quite a bit and played New Zealand side, and he's just seems to have always been there as far as I can remember. And he's been a great player for New Zealand, and one of the guys that I've looked up to building my career as well. He's always been one of the best nines in the world continuously every single year, and that's a sign of a great player. And I think I'm lucky enough to hopefully get a few more hit outs against him in Japan. So it's going to be exciting to have him over. But yeah, I just want to congratulate him on a great international career. He's been great, something that I think a lot of nines can look up to, and I have definitely in the past learned a lot from him, but hopefully I can get one over him this game.
Damien, Jacques was just talking about how far back he goes with a lot of the players, and he mentioned that he coached you at a very young age as well as a lot of the other guys. Can you just maybe talk about the influence that he's had on you as a player, as a coach, what kind of coach he is, and the kind of influence he brings in a big week like this?
Yeah, I think obviously Coach Jacques and myself go back since school days, and it's been a real privilege and honor to play for him and under him. As I said, obviously he's been massive in my career, especially in my test career. He's the one with Coach Rassi who's given me a shot at the international scene. I'm really grateful for the opportunities, and then obviously the rest of the coaching staff who's made sure that I can develop my skills each and every week. And I'm just really blessed and grateful for the opportunity that he's given me to kickstart my international career. And today I'm here, hopefully in the World Cup final. It's been massive for me.
Faf, hi. What makes this rivalry so special for you, and is it the biggest in rugby?
I was funny enough just thinking of that question before you asked it. And I don't know really why, but I think it for me personally, doesn't get bigger than this. If you look what's at stake, and getting the 4th title, going back to back, I can't really answer that, to be perfectly honest. It's probably just the feeling that you have inside, and I think you all can feel it, and I think people and supporters can feel it. It's special and very privileged to be just in this situation. There's not a lot of people that are going to come after us and have this feeling and have this situation to be in. I think it's spectacular. I'm looking forward to it so much. And like I said, that there's a lot more to play for than just that cup. We're doing it for a lot of different reasons. But going up against this side in a final, trying to go back to back, it's pretty special. I can't explain it. It's more a feeling, and I think you're going to see some unbelievable rugby on the weekend.
Question for Damien. You played with Cheslin Colby for quite a while. I think if I got my facts right, he's playing his 30th test match on Saturday, and it's also his birthday. Just a word on him, and also I want Faf to comment.
Obviously, I've been fortunate enough to play with Cheslin, starting at the Stormers when I just got out of school. He's been obviously a great player to obviously learn the game from. As I said, started at the Stormers and then now at International. I've had to the privilege to play with him in the back three. You know, he's a great player. He's always someone who, you know, if it's to be, it's up to him. He's always the one to take the ball and, you know, make the play. So yeah, it's great to have him in our team, and you know, hopefully he can, you know, provide us again with a special moment, just like he did in 2019. And yeah, I think as Fafi said, you know, it's going to be a great game of rugby. It's going to be a contest all over the pitch. New Zealand has been playing obviously really good rugby, so we're preparing for that test. And you know, as Faf said, we're really excited.
Just on Cheslin. His birthday today?
Yeah,
Saturday. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Yeah, I guess that's a nice present to give him then, to get the win. He's a great guy. We've been mates for quite a bit, and sort of had a similar thing where going through our career where he's always, people in the past said he's too small to play this game. But I think he quickly showed that's not the case. He's an unbelievable player, unbelievable guy, works unbelievably hard, and doesn't have a doubt in his ability at all. He'll take on anyone, anywhere, any place, and he'll probably come out on top. Quite enjoy him training at 9, seeing that he can actually become a bit tired, not just hanging out on the wing. So it's good to see that side of it. But he's an unbelievable guy for us, as a friend and as a player. You always, I think everybody feels when he gets that ball something special is going to happen, and more often than not it does. So we're very lucky to have him on our side.
Good morning to all of you. Just 2 questions, one for Damien, one for Stephen. Damien, how much motivation is winning a record fourth World Cup for you? And then Stephen, with the team that coach has announced, all the pressure is on the forwards, and how you guys take that?
Yeah, just on that question, obviously it will be massive, not only for us as a team, but you know what it will mean for the country as well. And yeah, there's been obviously 4 years of hard work, sacrifice, and dedication that's gone on into this, and the planning, you know, from the support staff, the coaches, and us as players, you know, sacrificing a lot of time from home, bodies on the pitch. You know, we've lost Malcolm, we've lost Makazole, obviously in the games leading up to the final. So we are doing it for them as well, and as I said, for everyone back home. So, you know, it's really special. But in saying that, you know, we are coming up against a great side in the All Blacks, and, you know, they're not going to obviously make it easy. They also want the cup, and, you know, as you said, it'll be the 4th for whoever wins on Saturday. So it's going to be a massive contest, and, you know, we've been preparing for that. And I think the pressure that we've got in the quarters, in the semi-final, you know, have set us up nicely for the final. So, yeah, we're looking forward to it, and it's going to be all out there.
Yeah, and so just on the forwards, Rassie and Jacques made it very clear on Monday when we internally announced who's playing and the squad that it's going to come down to the forwards and the way we pitch up and giving a platform for the backs to show a bit of magic and X factor. But we all know the brand and style that the All Blacks play and how dynamic they can be. But for us, it's all about work rate, that physicality, that scrum battle, that line-out mauling. And for us, if you've got an opportunity to play for 40 minutes or 45 minutes, it's absolutely emptying the tank and giving it everything and making sure you leave nothing out there. And then the next guy just steps in and takes over. So it's all about an 80, 85, 100-minute performance, and with the way we pick the squad, it's giving you everything, emptying the tank, and the next guy just takes over and carries on with the job.
We'll take about 4 minutes left, guys. So question here and question over there.
A question maybe for Faf and Stephen, whoever wants to answer really. The hours must stretch a bit in this final week heading up to Saturday, and obviously the game not till 9. How have you, when you're not supposed to be thinking about the game, how have you been filling your time, and what will you be doing up until 9 o'clock? I mean, Faf, is it preparing the hair, or are there other things you do?
Yeah, that's a big part of it, preparing the hair. No, like, this week does feel a bit longer than usual, which is great. I think the more time we get in this last bit together is special, and we've focused on getting closer as a group this last week, spending a bit more time together after training, having a packet of chips together and just chatting through our experiences and what it means to be here again. So I can really feel that unity inside with the group. A lot of sleep, go to bed late, wake up late, have another nap, and we've pretty much been playing 9 o'clock games every weekend, so I think the boys have got their routine down. So yeah, it's a normal week for us in terms of that. But like we've done a lot of work on New Zealand and on ourselves, and we know them very, very well by now. And I think that's one great thing about this team is there's a lot of experience and guys that have gone through this same situation in the past. So drawing on that, and guys can share their experiences, what they need to do before a game, and you can take from that what you need. But yeah, like I said, it's pretty much a normal week for us to prepare. Not a lot gonna happen on Thursday. Maybe a few boys hit a few golf balls, maybe go to Paris, have a coffee, something like that. But yeah, pretty much a standard thing for us.
Hi guys. John Smith said you make 2 debuts as a Springbok. Your debut and then your first game against the All Blacks. Could we maybe add a third category, the All Blacks in a World Cup final? Will that give you guys the extra, I guess, little bit of motivation you need? You've probably had a harder physical time and a shorter turnaround. Could that be the few percent you need to go the distance?
Yeah, I think he's 100% correct. Like, I made my debut against Ireland and then played a couple of games and then played the All Blacks and felt like I've never played a test match for the Boks before that. And then building up into this week there's a different level of nerves that I haven't felt before. So I think motivationally wise, to be honest, there's no outside motivation needed. I think the way we've prepped, the way we've done our analysis, the way this whole World Cup's been, and the road we had to take to get to here, it all roads lead to this final. So I don't think there's any motivation needed. I think there's going to be excitement. I think there's going to be enjoyment. I think there's going to be exhilarating rugby. So for us, it's pitching up, making sure the details nailed in, and then just playing rugby as best as we can.
Thank you very much, guys. That wraps up our media conference. Have a lovely day and see you tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.
Cheerio.